Thank you very much for coming here. Today we'll be ready to roll in a few moments. Keely is just, I think, sorting out her guitar. Later on she's going to sing one of Inga-Maria's songs. And Claire McConner's here, who has published a number of poems in honour of Keely Moss, in honour of Inga-Maria. And that will happen. I will do the introduction, and then you've got the programme. There are red roses there for you to lay out the stone when you're called forward. And, if everybody would move forward, I think it would be helpful. Just a couple of minutes. Sorry for keeping you late. A couple of minutes, and we're ready. We're ready to proceed. Good afternoon, folks, and thanks very much for your attendance in such good numbers on such an inclement day. We all know why we're here, the unresolved tragedy of the guest that we never got to welcome. Inga wanted to come to Ireland to see the beauty of the landscapes, to get a taste of our music and our culture, and as guests we weren't able to afford her that opportunity. I'll pass now to John Dallett for his opening remarks, and then we'll just follow the programme unannounced. Again, let me repeat Donald's welcome. Thank Donald for doing MC here today. We've gathered here today on the 30th anniversary of Inga-Maria Hauser, and we're doing it for a number of reasons. We of course support the appeal by the police for those people who may know something about her murder to come forward. But let us first remember Inga-Maria as a beautiful young girl who lost her life in tragic circumstances when she died defending her honour. Let us keep Inga-Maria in our hearts and minds as a young innocent girl who was exceptionally talented in so many ways. She was a musician, she was an artist, she was a composer, but above all, she was the daughter of the Hauser family. As a peace-loving community, let us appeal in support of the PSNI for those witnesses who know about Inga-Maria's murder to gather the confidence to come forward. And I think they must take confidence from the fact that so many of you have gathered here today in support of that campaign. let us send back a message to Munich of our love and our affection for the Hauser family. And let us reassure them as a peace-loving community that we share their grief and we understand, at least in some way, the life they've had to live for the last 30 years, not knowing who stole the honour of their sister and, of course, daughter. Let us not speculate about who did it. Let us just simply concentrate on the evidence that is needed to secure a conviction. Today, a number of people have accompanied me. I have Keely Moss from Dublin, who's a composer. She's a blogger and she's also a singer. And she will sing Inga-Maria's favourite song later on. I also have Claire McCotter here. Dr. Claire McCotter is a poet. She's not quite reached Seamus Heaney's levels, but I've no doubt she will. Very talented, and so grateful that she's here to read 3 of her little poems in honour of Inga-Maria. Claire, like Keely, is not stranger. Many times they've walked this forest, many times they've left flowers at the spot where Inga-Maria's body was found. So over the next few days, let us remember that there is a police appeal out, and we must encourage those witnesses who do exist and who could complete the last piece of the jigsaw. Thank you very much for coming. Donal, I hand back again to you.
Potter.
When Inga-Maria was murdered, they didn't just murder her, but also any children that she may have had, any grandchildren that her mother and father may have had. And that's something that I look at in this poem. And also the solace that her mother got from the recordings that Inga-Maria made on a small tape recorder in her bedroom in 1988 before she left home for her trip. The poem's called Triptych, and the first part of it is called Backpacker. She is a swallow on the heart-hammering brink of blue. For weeks her sleep, silvery with dreams of maps and moons and magnetic fields. Now her bright brown eyes on the edge of flight. The leap, the drop, the rise, the jolt of sky. The swoop, the curve, the turn. Her maiden voyage, a practice run. Wound down at dusk on a telephone line. Her throat full of sorrel and stars and sun, and miles of blue, and the miles and miles of blue to come. The next part is called Solace. In her bedroom, she is a student of song, practicing guitar chords before pressing record, not knowing every time her mother presses rewind, the gold crocus on her child's tongue candles the night. And the next part is called Self-Seeding. Left broken in the place seed fell, they brought their corn-haired girl back home, thinking of those she might have brought to them. Her mother smoothed the earth out over her shoulders, and yet, still in the forest, her dark eyes blent with theirs, she waits at dusk among the Sika deer. Thank you.
ask Killy Moss to come through and unveil the stone, please.
Thank you, Donald, and thank you, John, and thanks to all of you for braving the weather in this really hideous wintry day to come out here and support for our event and in memory of Inga-Maria. Some of you will know, but some of you may not know. I have been writing an ongoing blog and running the website for Inga-Maria for the last 2 years. And during that time, I've come in touch with so many people in the area, in Ballycastle, all over the Glens and County Antrim and Northern Ireland in general. And I've become aware that there's such a compassion and a groundswell of support for Inga-Maria, and such an awareness of the ordeal that she went through in this forest on this night 30 years ago. And none more so than John Dallett, who's been the only public figure to consistently campaign on her behalf. That's how John and I came in touch. One of the main reasons that I began the Keely Chronicles blog and website for Inga-Maria Hauser was because, having read her story, it touched me in a way, it touched my soul in a way that nothing else had ever reached. And I wanted to try and find a way to say sorry on behalf of all Irish people for what this young traveller and young backpacker had gone through. It was her dream to travel, as her mother Alma confirmed in an interview later on. She'd never been abroad on her own before, and she hadn't even set foot on land here when whoever was responsible for her murder drove her off that ferry on the 6th of April 1988 and led her here to Ballypatrick Forest, where the horrendous ordeal took place. And one of the things where her mother is concerned, I haven't met her mother. I've spoken with her other family members, but I wanted to try and see if there was a way that I could try and do something nice for her mother, and that way I thought maybe I could try and do something nice for Inga-Maria. But her mother suffered a really bad, health problem in the last 3 years, so that's why she's not here today. Otherwise, I'm sure she would certainly be here. She's just not able to be here. But I wrote a song from her perspective about Inga-Maria, and myself and my bandmate Daniel are going to perform it for you now, and I hope you like it. It's called Playing to the Pain, and just a little bit of background about the song before we play it. There's a term in sport which, if you suffer an injury, they have this phrase or term. It's called playing through the pain. You know, you're kind of playing through the pain barrier of what you're enduring in terms of injury. And after Inga-Maria was murdered, some years later, her mother Alma started playing badminton, partly to keep fit and also partly to try and keep her mind off what had happened, because every day without fail she always visited the grave of Inga-Maria in Munich. So I kind of just thought that I would try and use the analogy of playing through a sporting injury to compare it to her playing through her pain of having lost her daughter. Yeah, this is it. Hope you like. I work as a nurse, taking care of others, but I could you that night, my girl. On your 21st, your dad and I invited all of your friends to the house to be with us. Playing through the pain is what I had to do. From the day I faced this world without you. Badminton I play to keep fit and keep what happened off my mind once a day. Your room's still the same. Your precious art, my precious pain. At your grave every day. Playing through the pain is what I've had to do. Since the day I faced this world without you. Playing through the pain is what I've had to do. Since the day I faced this world without you. Without you. Without you. Thank you.
I asked Keely to unveil the stone, and then there are 30 roses. And I asked people who have a rose to form a queue and just lay them in silence at the stone. Thank you.
Before unveiling the stone, I'd just like to explain a little bit about the context of what is written on the stone. One of Inga-Maria's friends in Munich, who she used to meet at a youth club in a church called St. Gabriel's in Munich, he told me that her favorite song when they used to go to this youth club was a song called Mockingbird by a band called Barclay James Harvest. And when I was familiar with the song, but after he told me that, I had a look through the lyrics of it. And there's a line in that song which says, "Time will see your tears run dry. There's a mockingbird singing songs in the trees." And I just thought, when John asked me, in terms of a line for the inscription, I kind of thought that would be very fitting, because not only was it her favorite song, but it was also that line. There's so many kind of echoes of what happened to her on that night in 1988. So, without further ado, I'd like to unveil this inscription stone for Inga-Maria, And thank you so much, all of you, for being here today. And thank you so much to John Dallett for having put so much work into this event, and also Anne Dallett, Donald Cunningham, yes, and all of the media who've been very supportive with what we've been trying to do. So.
John, can we bring you over here a second? Just stand the elevator. Yeah.
We're going to ask Keeley to come back and sing Alleluia in memory of Inga-Maria. The inscription stone reads, "Never forgot," and from this day on, Inga-Maria will not be forgotten. And for those who visit this beautiful forest, we hope that they will remember the Hauser family in their prayers and give some thought to such a talented, beautiful young girl who unnecessarily lost her life in such tragic circumstances. Thank you very much for coming here today. Your presence today will be relayed to the Hauser family in Munich, and it will bring them some comfort in the 30 years of tribulations that they have had to endure. And please God, over the next few weeks and months, the police will be successful in completing the jigsaw and will be able to bring closure. For us, as we leave here today, we have paid tribute and honour to such a talented young girl